should have quit while you were still alive, Dooku.
Fighting off the entire Jedi security force would have been difficult, but now that they are gone, defeating you alone will be an easy task.
Count Dooku, leader of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, apprenticed to the Lord of the Sith and wine connoisseur. But behind all that he was a man with vision, a man who saw something greater for the galaxy. From a young age, Dooku showed great promise within the Jedi Order. He was so talented that he was even taken up by Yoda as his apprentice, even though typical Jedi practice forbade such. As Yoda's apprentice, Dooku was turned away time and time again. As he grew older, Dooku became a challenger to the principles of the Jedi, being angered with the restrictions placed upon him. In this period, Dooku built a strong camaraderie with Sifo-Dyas. He soon learned that his good friend had begun having visions of a massive solar storm approaching Proto-Branch that would take millions of lives. With this information, Dooku pleaded with the Jedi Council to consider his warning, but was turned away due to the negative stigma related with visions. The prophecy became a reality, with the Jedi failing to protect the planet, thus building Dooku's disdain for the Order's insolence. Dooku became obsessed with the concept of prophecies, studying them for several years. Dooku continued to rise the ranks due to his prowess with the Force, as well as being a tremendous swordsman. He eventually reached the rank of Jedi Master and took on an apprentice, Rael Averroes, to whom he introduced the Chosen One prophecy. After his departure, Averroes grew up to become a famous duelist among the Order. Later on, Dooku took on Qui-Gon Jinn as his second apprentice, forwarding the prophecy to him. After Qui-Gon went on to become a Jedi Master, Count Dooku led the Jedi into the Battle of Galadron, a trap set up by Death Watch Mandalorians to take out the true Mandalorians, a rival faction. Countless Jedi and almost all of the Mandalorians were killed in this battle. This disgusting miscalculation that resulted in an incredible amount of pointless deaths caused Dooku to take a step back from the Order, leaving to become the Count of his home planet Serenno. To do this, he had to overthrow his brother Ramil. With this, he became incredibly wealthy and became extremely fond of exotic wines. The Count self-exiled, planning to create a smaller offshoot of the Jedi Order to create change within the galaxy. However, before he could do this, he was approached by Darth Sidious, who offered him a position as his apprentice. This would give Dooku the power to squash the corruption of the Republic. With this, Dooku gained the new title of Darth Tyrannus. Over the next decade, the necessary foundation for the Clone Wars was built, with Dooku suggesting his friend Sifo-Dyas to request the creation of a clone army from the Kaminoans. Dooku recruited Jango Fett as the base subject for the clones. Around this time, Dooku also took on a fallen Jedi, Asajj Ventress, as his apprentice. After years of silence in the public eye, Dooku re-emerged to head the creation of the Confederacy of Independent Systems. He involved Nute Gunray and Wilhuff Tarkin and dispatched Jango Fett to assassinate Senator Amidala, but this plot failed. This attempt led to Obi-Wan's investigation that placed Fett on Geonosis, dropping the Jedi Order directly into the territory. Dooku attempted to bring Obi-Wan to his side, but failed. His lackeys captured Anakin and Padme, and all three were scheduled for execution in the Geonosian arena. But they managed to escape as the Jedi Order arrived, and thus began the Battle of Geonosis. Dooku made an escape to his lair, being tracked there by Anakin and Obi-Wan. He demolished both Jedi in a duel, taking Anakin's hand before the arrival of his old master Yoda. Yoda saved Obi-Wan and Anakin, and Dooku fled on a solar sailor with the Death Star plans. Sidious was impressed with his apprentice as the Clone Wars began. In this era, Dooku recruited Grievous after turning him against the Republic, and Sidious requested Dooku kill his apprentice Asajj Ventress, as she grew more independent and powerful. Ventress faked her death with the help of the Night Sisters, and Mother Talzin supplied Dooku with a new apprentice, handpicked by Ventress, Savage Opress. Dooku trained him in the ways of the Sith before he was dispatched to Toydaria. Mother Talzin informed Opress of his kinship with Darth Maul. They went on to attempt several conquests across the galaxy before Opress's defeat at the hands of Darth Sidious. Dooku was reminded of Mother Talzin's treachery. He then dispatched Grievous to assassinate her. Grievous succeeded in his mission. Later on, Dooku was involved in an unsuccessful search for Darth Maul, and he was hunted down by Asajj Ventress and her lover Quinlan Vos. In his attempt to strike down Vos, he ended the life of his former apprentice. As Vos comforted Ventress, Dooku rendezvoused with Sidious and made an escape. Near the end of the Clone Wars, Palpatine falsified his own kidnapping with the help of Dooku. This was an elaborate trick on Palpatine's part which resulted in Dooku's death at the hands of Anakin Skywalker. This assisted in his turn to the dark side. Dooku was left betrayed and slain in a plot propagated against him by the master he had nobly served for many years. Dooku's death was used as a mere catalyst for Anakin's fall. With further inspection, we find a man who strove for power not only for his own gain, wishing to change the corrupted politics he found himself surrounded by. Just as Anakin was, Dooku was misled to believe that Darth Sidious's powers would help him get to his goals. Within Dooku we find much less naivety than in Anakin Skywalker. Were Dooku to never have been approached by Sidious, we would likely see a successful political uprising by Dooku's new faction of the Jedi Order. This may have finally assisted in the settling of the Republic and thus created a truly balanced political system.